Hello and welcome to a new week of meals. I have three short ones for you this time around, starting off with a very easy throw together. These are pretty much all throw together stuff that I happen to have in the fridge. So here we go. I am starting off with some onion that I am dicing up. I'm going to add onions to a bit of extra lean ground pork and then add some kale to that. Very, very super easy, really inexpensive. I'm just keeping it real. This is how I cook. Just very lazy cooking. So here we go. I am defrosting my pork in the Dutch oven here just because I didn't have a chance to defrost it ahead of time, so I'm doing the cook and scrape method. So once that is all nice and browned on one side, I'm going to flip it over, scrape, and continue to cooking until the entire package of pork, this is a pound of ground pork, is fully cooked. Because it's so lean, I decided to add a bit of oil to this. You don't have to do that. If you've got regular pork, that's fine. Gonna season now with some garlic salt, garlic powder, and a bit of onion powder. And then I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper as well. Just season this to taste. I kind of wanted to give it a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it, Filipino dish flavor. So you'll see in a bit I will add a bit of fish sauce, or what we call patis. And here are the onions that I'm adding to the pork here. Gonna saute everything together. You can serve this with some rice. We did have some leftover white rice, so I served that for the guys. And then I have some minced garlic that I'm adding to this as well for aromatics. Again, just do this to taste. I'm just winging it, just kind of what I happen to have and the flavors that I wanted to bring out. So here we go with the lid. And I'm going to add the kale. This is just that bag stuff that's already been pre-washed and dried, and so it's already chopped up, I guess you could say. So I'm just adding as much as I like here. It's going to wilt down, so if you want more, wait until this wilts down and then you can add a little bit more. So just add the cover to that to help it cook down a little bit. Still nice and vibrant green. Pop the lid off, and then I'm going to stir this around. At this point, this is when I am going to let it cook down even more. I'm just going to toss everything around so that the veggies get down to the bottom and then just kind of cook down a little bit more. After a few minutes, I'm going to remove the lid. You can see the condensation that's developed here. I'm going to stir it around in a bit and just add a bit of fish sauce to flavor it. Again, this is that component that I wanted to add. You can do soy sauce if you'd like, but fish sauce has a very distinct flavor that I kind of want to bring out. It's really strong, however, so I just added a little bit. I probably would say that's about 1 to maybe 2 teaspoons at most for this particular pot. So I'm just going to stir this around, and that's ready to go. You can add more things to this if you'd like. Do a little taste test. Again, mine was super lean. I would do this with regular pork, that's not so extra lean. I think that would give it even more flavor. But there you go. That is dinner for the first night. I have served mine with some sriracha on top of it. Again, you can serve this with white rice. You can do this with some fried rice if you'd like, or no rice, which is what I did, cauliflower rice. You can do cauliflower rice as well, but that is the first meal of the week. Next meal, I am doing biscuits with sausage gravy. I did find the sage sausage, which is what everyone commented on the last video, the last time I made biscuits and gravy, to look for the sage one, and I found it at, surprisingly, at a Latin market. So I am cooking it down here. I am doing this a little bit differently than what I did last time. Last time I used bacon grease, and that just was so good. But I didn't do the bacon grease this time. I didn't have bacon, to be honest, in the fridge, so I added a bit of olive oil and a little butter to make it a little bit more rich. And here to that, I'm adding a couple tablespoons of just regular all-purpose flour, and then I'm going to add my milk to that and stir it around until it thickens up, and that's basically going to be the gravy done. This was really good. I really did like the sage pork sausage. It was a little bit salty to me, so because as you can see, I didn't season this at all. I I just kind of went with the sausage itself. I think the only thing I added was a bit of black pepper. But there you go. So I'm just going to add the milk a little bit at a time to get it to the consistency that I want. I didn't do it so saucy this particular time, though I think I probably could have added a little bit more milk just to make it a little bit more loose. But there you go. It was still really, really good. And just serve this with a bunch of those pre-packaged Pillsbury biscuits that I had cooked off ahead of time, and we just needed to use up. So that is the sausage and gravy. There you go. Just on its own, really good. Obviously, you can serve this with other stuff, other breakfast items like eggs and things, but this is what I have for the next night of the week. And lastly, I'm sharing another sort of breakfast item for dinner, which is kind of funny. I did not plan on doing this much breakfast food for dinner, but here we go. This is a French toast casserole. You can kind of think of it like a bread pudding, I suppose. It turns out that way, but this is some leftover bread, some clearance bread that I had in the fridge I needed to use up. What I did was tear it up into smaller pieces because it's always good to have nice dry bread to soak up the custard. So I'm just kind of letting it air out for a bit and dry up a little bit so it soaks up the custard when it's ready to put together. Now to make the custard, no real recipe for this. It's basically just going to be eggs. I have some half and half. You can use milk. I'm using vanilla and some cinnamon. Just going to toss all of that together until it gets to the consistency that I like. You'll see me kind of play with what I add here because I ended up not having enough eggs or using enough eggs in this first batch. I decided to add an extra egg, and then later on you'll see that I had way too much bread for the custard, so I made a little bit more of that custard and poured it over the casserole. So here we go, just mixing and whisking everything together, and then that's just going to go into the baking dish for the oven. Now you'll notice that I didn't butter this baking dish beforehand. You can if you'd like, just to make it a little easier to remove everything from the dish when it's done and ready to serve from the oven. But there you go, into the oven, 350. I probably cooked mine for about 15 minutes or so, just until the egg is cooked through. And here it is out of the oven right here. You can set it to broil if you'd like a little crispier crust, if you'd like it a little bit more dry, but that is mine right there. And this was really tasty, I have to say. It almost tasted like when I put everything together, you'll see I added some strawberry sauce that I had left over from making a cake previously, earlier in the week. So there's a strawberry sauce, fresh strawberries, and some sausage in the air from the air fryer. But it tasted like a strawberry-filled cake donut. Not a cake donut, but a strawberry-filled donut. It was just so good. I'll link the recipe for the strawberry sauce that I made down below because that was delicious. Otherwise, I don't have a recipe for anything else here in this particular meal. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the meals for the week. I really appreciate you guys stopping by, taking some time to see what we have had for the week. Again, this was a short one, but I hope you guys got some good ideas and try this one. Really, it was so good with the cinnamon and everything. It was just Such a delicious, I felt it was really, really indulgent. Definitely not keto, so I went off the rails just a little bit here, but it was so worth it. Really, really delicious. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed what you see here, feel free to subscribe. I invite you to join me here every single Monday for a Meals of the Week video. Like the video so other people can find some inspiration, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care until then. Bye-bye.